Thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation on the TI-14 playoffs. Day 2 recap. Alright, so the first match of the day was Tundra versus Heroic, and I have to say, Heroic has impressed me, both by the fact that they actually beat Tundra and the fact that they are solidly representing SA Dota. These guys play exactly like the Paravisions that Q1 US East at 3 AM. Deja vu watching this match. So, Game 1, the draft looked really good for Tundra. I thought the Troll was a really nice pickup. SD and Batrider are kind of problems, but like not really, it's fine. Also notable that Tundra banned out the Meepo in the final phase of the draft. People are still afraid of Meepo on Heroic. I find that very funny. I would love the chance to see it. And I'm going to have more opportunities because Tundra got whipped, okay? Once again, hilarious lanes. Heroic is really funny to watch. Super dynamic in the early game. Really funny rotations. Another really funny move they did is they stacked the triangle for the Earthshaker, right? Very common move. But something they did that I somehow haven't seen before. I don't know why other teams aren't doing this. Analog grabbed the mid creep wave and dragged it over to the triangle to add it to the Echo Slam, and then made it so it just immediately killed everything. This wound up giving him a 9-minute blink dagger. He then immediately died. So he lost a little bit of aura from that, but he didn't lose any unreliable gold. So in the mid game, Heroic just nay-nayed all over Tundra. Tundra looked completely lost. It was like a series of pickoffs. They weren't really able to get that big wombo combo teamfight that they wanted with the Darkseer and the Troll ulti. This was a very poor performance by 3-3. I love the guy. He's a 2-time TI winner for very good reason. He is a monster, arguably one of the greatest offlaners of all time. But he just didn't do anything. Like, the Darkseer really didn't have any impact at all. Heroic also did a very good job of farming the stand-in like corn. Poor Toby. I feel bad for this guy. Whitemon, wherever he is like glued to his computer, very upset that he wasn't here to feed in his place. Also, they need to start banning Ursa. Yuma is too good at this hero for it to get through every single draft. They gotta start banning it, especially because Heroic are like not that afraid to just first pick it. They really, really like this hero, even though other teams are sort of overlooking it. They gotta start banning Ursa. Okay, so game 1, big stomp for Heroic. Very fast game by this tournament standards. Game 2, this is the most toxic draft I have ever seen in this entire event. We had a first pick Pudge, once again from Heroic. The crowd always loves it. The interesting thing, though, is that this was not a offlane or a support Pudge. This was a position 1 Pudge. And meanwhile, Tundra decided to fire back at the end of the draft with Carry Underlord. Your life at TI is on the line, and you put Crystallis on this wacky-ass shit. Like, we had the Juggernaut game yesterday, and that already didn't work out, and now you're putting him on Underlord. Like, that just seems so silly. It's very silly. Now, I do want to give some kudos to Soxa. He did a somewhat convincing 9-class impression on MK. However, he's nowhere near as funny, so, like, what's the point? If you're going to try to ape 9-class, you should absolutely also try to be hilarious, and Soxa just doesn't... He's not that guy. He's not that guy, and it's a shame. He also got walrus punched mid-tree dance, and I didn't know you could do that, so it was a learning moment for me. There was a BM pause from Heroic at the first blood. Allegedly, Yuma had like a keyboard problem. I think it was muscle memory. I think they got the kill from someone being out and just were like, and paused on it to just really let him know. Again, Heroic really representing the region. This was also a bloodbath compared to most of the other games that we've seen. Really high kill game, and yet it was pretty much dead even, both in net worth and kills. It was like less than a 2k advantage for either side, and it continued to flip-flop. Then Whisper Phoenix came in. All the really late team fights came down to his performance, and he showed up when it counted, so good on him. Toby, meanwhile, after once again being farmed like corn, had 5k net worth at 42 minutes. I guess the PPD meta is back. Like, position 6 has returned to Dota 2. I don't mind it personally. Then it all just ended in a very clowny team fight. Tundra lost to a toxic draft to leave TI playing Underlord carry. So I really like Heroic. They've won me over. They've won me over. I am now cheering. I will gladly sacrifice my free Arcana so that South America can get its first Aegis if they keep pulling off upsets like this and keep first picking Pudge. They're very funny. Next up was the battle of the worst drafters in the entire event. So first off, we had Tidebound's games yesterday where they pretty much just completely boofed the draft, and now they're up against Nigma Galaxy, who also boofed their drafts. So you would think they would equally boof their drafts? No. Tidebound has solidly won the competition, the side event of sorts, to see who is the worst at drafting. First off, Ghost Dusa, I was very excited when they picked this in the second phase. I might be the only person in the universe who is excited to see Dusa at TI, but like, hey, the games are already going long. And then somehow this wound up being a huge stomp. So you look at this Tidebound roster and think to yourself, okay, what mid laner ties this all together? You can't really think of anyone. Well, Kuroki sure thought of someone, and they wound up picking Muerta as like a surprise tempo mid. And at first my reaction was like, oh shit, Nigma, what are you doing? But like somehow it worked out. You know, usually when I see mid Muerta, I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to lose this ranked game. But no, I thought, oh, Nigma's going to lose at TI. But sure enough, they didn't. And it was so good that they picked it again next game, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We got to see even more bullying mid Earthshakers, which was fantastic. This guy had brown boots and a blink at 17 minutes. I have a personal vendetta against mid Earthshaker. I love to see them suffer, so very, very glad to see. Tidebound had a smoke gank in the Radiant Money Tunnel over by the teleport gate, where they walked by 3 Helm of the Dominator creeps, couldn't find anyone, and decided to literally smoke gank an overlorded Ancient. And I found that very funny. That's very emblematic of how the meta is right now, smoking so you can hit a Black Dragon. Tidebound really just couldn't do anything. Like, their team just didn't function. They sort of just walked around and waited to lose. Going into game 2, Nigma drafted the same shit. They went for the Medusa, Clockwork, and Muerta. And then Sumail solo killed Nothing to Say's Sand King as a Muerta. And the Observer had a hard time catching it because, like, why the fuck would you? Like, that's not something that happens. That is, like, solo kills don't really happen at all. And yet it did from Muerta SK. And, like, I didn't go back and watch the replay. I just assumed that Sumail, like, threw a paper airplane between the boosts and it poked NTS in the eye, causing him to lose focus. That's the only solution that I can give. 16 minutes in, I was already saying, like, rip Tidebound. They're out. Extreme is the only one left. Ame, it's all on you. Nigma was up 9k at 21 minutes. There was a point where they burned Fiend's Grip and Arena on Omar's clock and didn't even kill him. They didn't kill him. Meanwhile, just behind them, the Faceless Void was solo chronoing a Phoenix. And got him. They got him. So, you know, that's a great trade. It's really good, man. Just like a total shellacking. This is probably the most abject stomp that we've seen so far. There's really not much to say. Like, Nigma didn't even look amazing. Like, look at these drafts. You look at this and you're like, what are you guys doing? But it just, Tidebound sucked. And I was a Tidebound believer, so I apologize. On the bright side, Extreme can now ritually cannibalize Tidebound's players to gain additional strength for the matches ahead. So that's something to look forward to if you have Ame on your fantasy list, like me. Now the bad news for everyone who has Ame on their fantasy list, they got wrecked. So this was my first fantasy team kill. I have 9 class and Ame. Ame is outperforming 9 class, so I chose to cheer for Extreme this match, and I was wrong. Immediate snap pick of 4 Slark for 9 class. Awful troll pick by Extreme. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, they saw Lycan, Puck, and the support Slark. Those are 3 heroes that are all really difficult for Troll to deal with, and they still picked it with confidence. Like, they had reserve time left, and they were still like, all right, Ame, you got this. And then picked up Troll for him. And it didn't go very well. This might be a surprise, but they freaking lost bad. And it wasn't even because necessarily of the Troll counter picks. It was because of 9 class being so goddamn funny. If you watch a single match, you need to watch this 30-minute classic from Paravision. Like, 9 class ran an absolute clinic. And what's funny is he actually is up against Xing Q, who, from what I know, kind of invented and or popularized support Monkey King, sniping couriers in the base and shit. So this is the most annoying pause 4 in history versus the most annoying pause 4 of today. To give an example of 9 class's clownery, he got ganked by the Disruptor and I believe the Lycan or the Bristle, and Disruptor did full combo, right? Static Storm, Kinetic Field. This guy waltzes over to the edge and does the old trick, the old parlor trick where you put down an Iron Branch and the displacement forces you out of the kinetic field. He hit ult and then just walked away. Basically, a whole bunch of nothing happened after that, and then Satanic terribly got a DD, and like, there goes your Rex. Like, this is gonna happen. This Satanic go kill. And then 9 class got his hot D creep in the Roche pit for that vision trick. You know, you can like park it somewhere where it can see in and out, but like you can't see it. It's like really goofy. And then this guy leaps in and just snatches the Aegis right from under Extreme's nose. Like, this guy's a fucking criminal. Like, he cannot leave Germany. We need to send this guy to jail. Like, 9 classes. Like, this is such a heartbreaker, man. If Paravision somehow snatches the Aegis IRL this year, 9 class is going to be the player that I will give the most credit for it. Also, there was an early pause from Paravision in this game. They claimed it was because of a mic malfunction, but they literally don't talk, so like, I don't know. Game 2, they let Monkey King through for 9 class. I was like, oh my god, it's going to happen again. But he actually didn't go so sicko mode this time. He wasn't able to exploit some of the things that he could do with the Slark. Instead, Paravision drafted a second phase Brood. Meanwhile, the really funky stuff is happening on Extreme. They wound up picking Ame Bristle Carry, with a Battle Fury, I guess as an homage to TI-7. Like back when that was, I mean, they didn't even go Battle Fury back then, but like this shit was ridiculous. And everyone was confused. No one was confident. There was some, I heard something about like Extreme was like, oh, we're practicing something very special. You better look out. And like their upper bracket life at TI is on the line, and they whip out this dog shit. So like I don't know what they thought was gonna happen. Now, notably, it actually did good. He did a ton of damage. It was very funny watching him pop Satanic, turn around, hit one thing, and then go all the way up. Like, you could hear the crowd be confused whenever he would do that, because it just doesn't look right. He did a ton of damage. He got a lot of kills, but he's a bristleback. Like, you get a Silver Edge on the Satanic Broodmother, and he hits him once, and he's killed, and there's nothing he can really do about it. It was a really, really tough game to play, because his team is also, like, feeding out of their minds. Like, even Wolf Bite on Lycan wasn't enough. So I think Extreme Gaming's goal was like, oh, we'll put Satanic, who is also a very much so like hit creep, I have finished farming type carry, we'll put him on the timer, we'll give Ame a tempo carry, and his experience will allow him to adapt to the new situation and outplay Satanic in the macro game. This did not work out. Satanic's youthful blood and brain full of adrenochrome allowed him to outplay this washed Chinese carry. And it was really sad to see, frankly. Like, he was really trying, it was like an old man trying to be hip with the kids and being like, look, I can pick wacky carries too. And it did not work out. Not even a little bit. By the way, only 7 heroes in this game bought boots. Lycan didn't buy boots, the Monkey King didn't buy boots, and then Centaur didn't buy boots because he's got the facet. But only 7 pairs of boots. I think they need to buff boots. Lycan had the howl going all the time at nighttime, and everyone in the crowd, and even Twitch chat, went the, oh, woo! Along with it, which was super fun. I love the audience participation for stuff like that. Now, if you watched today's matches, you know what I'm about to talk about. And this was a tragedy in living color. Falcons versus BetBoom. I won't talk about the ending. I'm just going to go through it sequentially so you can try to experience a little bit of what it felt to watch this series. So game 1, right? Pure, legendary strong mentality. He does bad in the early game, but that's fine. Falcons went Ench Ringmaster as their support duo, and Crit's Ringmaster was actually pretty sick. He hit the like Modern Warfare 2 throwing knives from across the map. It was nice. So notably, Crit did not go the facet with Weighted Pie. So I tested this in game because some of you guys commented and I didn't believe you, and I apologize for that. The Weighted Pie from his bad facet will actually insta-kill Helm of the Dominator creeps. But he didn't go it. He went the actual good ones anyway. So first off, Skeeter NP, really strong. Sumail showed off how strong a core NP can still be from the mid lane yesterday. Skeeter on the carry MP, I mean, he was just like going up and killing the 5 every now and again, or like ganking from the safe lane in a very effective manner. There was also a really great team fight for the second Wisdom Rune. All of Falcons was on like 1 HP, and they still went back in. Like, you saw ATF blink back in on the Mars. There was also a time where ATF on Mars and Skeeter on Nature's Prophet ganked Kataomi Bane. Skeeter got nightmared. ATF, when the kill was like guaranteed, ATF could have just right-clicked him and ended it. He actually walked over and took the nightmare off of Skeeter so Skeeter could get the kill. And I thought that was really sweet. Chat did too. Everyone called him Amar the Friendly or Amar the Father. And that was by far the nicest thing he did in this entire series. That's foreshadowing, by the way. Snake King on the Enchantress constantly got away from ganks with 1 HP and helped turn, and it looked so tilting. Like, BetBoom's mental was tested so hard in this game 1, and it got so much harder after that. That's more foreshadowing. Malrine started throwing strays at Nightfall because a lot of people started using BKBs and TPing out, especially on BetBoom team. So he started calling it Nightfalling, and people in the chat were already calling it Nightfalling. So a lot of strays thrown at him for basically no reason. And yet, GPK threw the Rock Lee weights off and just carried so hard. He got an ultra kill and completely flipped the game on its head, got the comeback. Pure didn't do that much, but I guess maybe his mental was being tested really hard, and Kataomi wrote, "Pure magic, what can you do?" in all chat as the Ancient fell, acting as if that game wasn't 90% GPK, but that's fine. That's fine. And then game 2 happened. Oh, jeez, man. BetBoom team picked up Bristleback, which had me scared because of what Ame did. I was like, please don't buy Battle Fury. But it's okay. It's okay. Now, quite notably, Falcons left Puck in the pool for GPK. And I thought to myself, okay, they're going to let them 4th pick Puck, and then they're going to answer with some crazy counter, right? Like, oh, they're going to pick like mid Ricky. That is not what they did. They just didn't. Because BetBoom last picked an anti-mage into this lineup. I cannot tell you for certain why they did that. It, like, the only int hero that you can reliably get on top of and hit is a Shadow Demon, and even then disruption is like a major problem, and if you ever get disrupted, you just die. And then Ench, you can't hit Ench, and you can't really go Silver Edge on this hero, so I didn't know what the plan was. Falcons, however, this was apparently a rogue move from Captain ATF. He just went Huskar. He just went offlane Huskar, and he cheesed the shit out of Pure. I mean, I've talked about how strong this guy's mental is. He broke. Something in Pure's brain broke. He went through the portal at level 3 to blink onto a Sven under the tier 1 tower and gank him. And they did get the kill, but he died on the crackback. And it's like, what are you doing? And like ATF just got to completely free farm his Huskar because there's no one in his lane. So he wound up getting a metric ton of farm. AM is hitting jungle creeps at level 4. He's not having fun in any capacity. There's a ton of all chat flame that started at the beginning, and then it continued throughout the entire thing. Pure wrote cheese only in the chat, which is one of the funniest things you could do. What followed was just 30 minutes of Pure being mentally tortured in the playoffs of TI, and then they lose. And that's it. Like, I could tell you more details about the game, but like they just got Huskar cheesed, and Skeeter hit buildings as Sven, and that was really all that happened. And let me tell you, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. So game 3, BetBoom is mentally reset, and they decide, let's switch it up. We're going to go for the Wombo combo. So they go Pango, they go Warlock, they go Magnus. Falcons decide to go full Zoo. They go Chen and Beastmaster, though Beastmaster actually went the Ags build. So not quite as Zoo as it could have been. But notably, BetBoom felt bad, right? They felt bad for what happened to Pierce. So they gave him a sippy cup in the form of Dragon Knight. They said, come here, little buddy. Here's some apple juice for you. You can just go hit the small camps. It'll be okay. And it was not okay. Falcons immediately began smacking the apple juice out of his hands pretty much as soon as they were able to. Amar owned this game, just maybe not as hard as he did in the previous one, but it was merciless. There was really nothing that BetBoom could do. They hunted down Pure like crazy. He was like 0-6 at one point. He was just not having fun. He was supposed to have this nice little, like, it's okay, you'll be all right, DK is okay, you're going to be all right. And he was not all right. He was not all right at all. He got mentally tortured for another 40 minutes. Amar was tipping him the whole time. Lots of all chat from Malrine. Skeeter used the Scotty Refresher troll build, and I believe he now owes me $5 for real. I know Falcons can afford it. He did use it at the Fishura event before TI. I consider that a free trial, but now I'm going to go ahead and send an email to the Prince of Saudi Arabia. So the lesson learned from this game is that ATF is like Michael Jordan. Just don't shit talk him, dude. Even if you really want to, even if it's deserved, just don't do it. Just don't do it. There have been a lot of alternate name uses at TI this year. I wrote a little bit about it here. Feel free to read it if you like. In conclusion, TI is argumentative, and you should absolutely watch it. Our brackets are cooked, and I feel confident saying that. I know mine is, and if you listen to me or anyone else's advice, I know you got some things wrong too. It's okay. We'll all miss out on the free Arcana together as a community. Peace on planet Earth.